What is going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic. This is where I channel the sacred guidance for this astrological week of the 27th of September. Already until the 2nd of October. Everything's going so fast, right? Very interesting week. I do want to say the 6th of October and the 20th of October, my fellow dear friend, as above, so below.eu, Kat Caitlin, Kat Vermeulen, and I are organizing a workshop on the lunar nodes. These are points in your astrological chart that have to do with your emotional development and your spiritual development as well, as it is linked to the soul, because the emotions are the processing material of the soul. That's how we get to experience and store memories into our lives, and it's actually our emotions that that cause for a memory, right? That cause that we know ourselves. And so seeing and knowing where these nodes are in your chart tells you something about what the soul wants to emotionally grow towards and where it comes from, where your karmic depths are. So it's a very important tool for your growth, for your spiritual development. And the North Node tells us about your purpose. So that is the reason why Kato and I are going to be organizing the 6th of October at 7 p.m. The lunar nodes through the signs, and the 20th of October, the lunar nodes through the houses. And so you can purchase your ticket. I'll put the link in the description below. And the second thing I do want to talk about is the Heaven on Earth community, which is open until Tuesday, the 28th of September. This is a place where you can learn spiritually development, right? So we do that through the 6-step method to align with the astrological energy. We, incorporate a fair deal of astrology in it. You don't have to know astrology though, but my gift really is to know Kundalini Yoga and astrology, and through astrology know what type of energy there is. And Kundalini Yoga, right, helps you use your body as a vehicle for consciousness in a way that aligns you with that energy. But you have to know what type of energy there is and what type of exercise you got to do. And I tell you that in the Heaven on Earth community, and we do that through 6 steps. There's 6 phases, 6 different type of exercises, and meditations and channeled guided meditations and all these things. That's one, and it's helping you really to tap into your own intuition and to feel for yourself, whoa, this is really how my body responds, this is how I react to this energy, this is what this energy does with me. And you get to know through the 12 different zodiac signs, really, which is 12 months. There's 12 different archetypes, and these archetypes are part of the human psyche. And so it's part of you, and you get to know yourself better, and because of it, the more you know yourself, the more you know your signals, the more you know your messages of your higher self, and the more you can spiritually develop and become really more yourself. And that's really what this life is about, to experience your true essence self. And it makes you do better things, better choices, healthier choices. It opens you up. As I always say, create art, heart and art and earth. It helps you create the being, right? It helps you create from your heart, and that's your uniqueness, your art that is to share for the human beings on earth. So that is really open until Tuesday, 12 p.m. So if you want to join, I'll put the link in the description below. All right. Let's get into the astrology of this week. We got the sun in Libra, and the sun in Libra is really about relationships, objectivity, right? And seeing yourself in someone else. So it brings up the themes of relationships and how objective is this relationship. What is objectivity for me? And how am I dealing with this? How am I taking care of others? Not thinking about yourself, but really together, going in partnerships. And so we also got Mars there, and the sun is approaching Mars. So there is kind of a, we can make things happen together with other people, but it also increases the confrontational energy. Now, that adds with the fact that Mercury goes retrograde on Monday in Libra. So this is obviously, the usual themes of confusion and miscommunication in relationships. So, it's going to be a very interesting one because we got Venus in Scorpio. And Venus in Scorpio, that shows that money, relationships, and food and the physical body really are going through an intense process of transformation, of secrets, of taboo, of sex, of shared resources. What is the body as a shared resource with someone else? Sexual intimacy. This is Tantra, really, at the most spiritual level, like really union of two people. And it's so beautiful because we will be having Venus trine Neptune, trine the moon. That is pure love, unconditional love, to experience unconditional love and to transform that conditional love into unconditional love. Conditional love is where you have to do this for me and then I'll do that, right? Or I expect you to do this and then I will feel this way. And honestly, that is what Venus in Scorpio is going through right now. That's a very conditional love. It is where we keep our partners the way we want them to be, and it's about really a certain type of fear that we have, that our partner will leave us, that our partner is going to cheat on us, that our partner is just not the person that we thought them to be. And these are all really conditions that are preconceived, and especially when the moon in Cancer on Wednesday squares not only the sun in Libra, which is about a crisis in consciousness. How am I taking care of myself in this relationship? How do I feel in this relationship, when I am with this person? But it's also squaring Chiron, and it's squaring Jupiter, and this is feeling weird, feeling lonely. It is like experiencing your weirdness in like not, losing yourself again in the other relationship, or just being too cocky, being too manipulative. All these things, all these topics are just coming to the surface. And it is really making us aware, since we got Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, of like, who are we together? What happens when we do things together? What happens when we are in it together? With myself, with Moon in Cancer, right? And so that's what this Mercury retrograde is going to bring up. Really intense confrontations with Mars and Libra too. Confrontations in relationships, the discussions. And since when Mercury goes retrograde, we got a Virgo ascendant, we have an opportunity to purify again. We got more Virgo energy, in a way being placed in. So there's the good thing about this is there's going to be a practical application with Mercury in the second house there of that chart. Is what is valuable. So we're really going to explore what is valuable for you, for me, and topics of money, topics of shared resources, and karmic relationships are huge. So with Jupiter in Aquarius too, a lot of people, and Mercury trine Jupiter, we got good communication going on. We got a lot of ideas being shared. And that brings up the topic of Venus in Scorpio too. What is truthful? Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's lying? Who's manipulative? And we're evaluating the relationship of you and me. So this is like, do I still belong in this relationship? Does that person still belong in my relationship? Who can I use, right? There's tremendous power. There's sexual attraction. So being aware of that is huge. And but the beauty of it is there's some, because this is intense transformation. People are pushing our buttons way more. These are times of extremes in relationship where we're swinging from one side to the other. The pendulum is swinging from one side to the other all the time. So, and especially with Uranus and Taurus there, what once was important is not going to be important. What we thought that we were going to choose, we will not choose. So our world is going to change yet again. It is changing so fast anyway. But what we thought was important is no longer going to be important. And these are times of change, and we're processing it in a kind of like physical experience, and especially with an emotional crisis in Wednesday, like a crisis in consciousness, like shit, evaluating, do I really feel safe? Is this really how I'm gonna feel feed myself? And family relationships are gonna come up for sure. Like, what is the foundation of my relationship? Where does it come from? It's an intense soul searching type of energy, really, where we're yet again have to go through that transformation. But the beauty of it is that we're really at the end of this Mercury retrograde in 3 weeks, where we're going to be like, damn, man, that person that came into my life really changed my life. That's why in the Heaven on Earth community, by the way, the first meditation that I did was mirror, crystal ball, and angel. Everybody is a mirror in a life, mirroring, parts of ourselves, unconscious and consciously. The sexual desire that we have, that we didn't know that we had, and the tremendous, love that we can feel, or the addiction that we have with foods or whatever. People are reflecting that to us. That's the mirror. And to become aware of that, and to really then, this is where we practice our objectivity, because shit's gonna come up, and where we really have to reflect and really get into the dialogue then with ourselves and with the other person. That's the invitation, and especially with Mercury retrograde, we have to be very aware of the words we speak, especially because Moon is in Gemini in that Mercury retrograde start chart. These are choices that we're making. We don't know. We're in between. We have a lot of options. There's going to be a lot of options that we can choose from. And this is going to lead to that crisis in consciousness. Like, what do I have to choose? I don't know. Not make a choice until this Mercury retrograde is over. Or, make a choice, but be very aware that it's going to change. Or it might change. It might not. But it has a big, big opportunity to change. Or, option. So options, that's another one, right? We have a lot of options. And, but that Virgo, ascendant, is about, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to be very discriminative here, without being too cocky, as always. But this is like where we're being pushed into a choice. Is this truly what is according to my values, my core values, my spiritual values, my emotional values, my physical values? Do I really want to give myself, again, like the archetype of the prostitutes is going to be coming up. Where am I prostituting myself? And this could lead to then that analysis of like, fuck, this is what I do, and this is a downward spiral. We got to be very careful for those downward spirals here with Mercury retrograde square Pluto, which goes intense and goes really to the depth, to like analysis until it doesn't stop. I have this in my own chart. It doesn't stop. Like, you keep freaking searching for more. I don't know enough. I need more information. And the beauty, though, this is where I was going to come to, is that we got Sun trine Saturn, trine the North Node. There's important bonds, important relationships, that if we truly see what is valuable in that person and for our relationship, if we make that analysis and we make that choice, these are bonds forever. I mean, forever is a long time, but for a long time. These are long-lasting bonds. And there's an opportunity to really, in that analysis, with Venus, trine Moon, trine Neptune, to change a condition to a non-condition. And this is compassion, okay? This is the compassion nature where we zoom out, detach or non-attach. There's like, this works with attachments, and with Venus and Scorpio, we are working with attachment. What are we latching onto, attaching onto? A certain way of eating, a certain way of being with a person. And to non-attach for a second, to be objective, and to zoom out. Where does that sexual attraction come from? Is it genuine? Is it something that we have placed upon us? Is it something that we've learned, something that we got from our childhood, whatever, you know? And then if we're able to give that space, because it's not about eliminating it, giving that space, giving it space. That's really, I feel, maybe this week, giving it space. And allowing it to be recognizing the human nature of, you know, sensually pleasurement. Is that even a word or a saying? Sensually pleasuring ourselves, or, you know, it's there. But you don't have to act upon it. And if you do act upon it, you don't have to feel guilty for it. But it's about changing a pattern always, right? Because these are patterns that we're stuck in. You know, Libra in a way is about patterns that are reflected back to us. So that's, you know, to not attach, and then to see the creation that is happening, and having a certain kind of awe for it, a certain kind of appreciation for it, no matter how fucked up it is, no matter how beautiful it is. Like, it is happening, it's creating, and it's like God or Source experiencing itself, and we can choose to be identified with it or not. That too is what that Wednesday Crisis in Consciousness is about. What do I identify with? Who do I identify with? What do I identify with? So there's a lot of people now in our lives coming to really show us that. Where, like, really observe. This is an observing energy that is required. Not judging in a way that is like, this is bad, this is wrong, but discriminating. This is what I want, this is what I no longer want, and this is healthy, this is not healthy. This has to do with values. In aligning your values with your heart, brain coherence, you know. That's why I'm such a big fan of heart-brain coherence. You cannot figure it out just here. It has to come from the whole holistic part of the body. So changing the condition to unconditional love, you know, this is realizing that you're part of a bigger whole, that there's a blissful gratitude that has to come from being able to experience this, and that since we are part of the same source, we cannot lose energy, we cannot, you know, only maybe not gain more energy, because there's already enough energy. It's just a constant flux. And what are you allowing? I'm seeing now, you know, just like a fluid coming through your body. What fluids are you taking in your body? What are you squeezing out of it? What are you detoxing? What are you, you know, taking in? Is it cold water? Is it warm water? Is it Coca-Cola? Or is it, you know, orange juice? Or is it just, you know, that type of sea salt water, or, you know, ionic water, whatever it is? Is it oxygen? Does it have oxygen, or is it contaminated water? like you really to become aware of our substances that we consume, the people that we consume, the energy that we allow. And then really send love. Send love to come into the heart space. Allowing that sexual, manipulative energy to be expressed, to be vulnerable about it, to get into dialogue, intentional dialogue, nonviolent communication, seeing what happens, knowing that it is normal to get into discussions, fights, that things will come out of your mouth that you don't want to say, that you do want to say, but express it and then reconcile so that you can observe and analyze and see, whoa, I'm going to have to realign myself here. Realignment. Observing realignment, assessment of these values. And that's the cleansing that is happening. There's a cleansing happening this week. Pushing us into really understand what it is that we're doing here together. Much love. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.